Hello and welcome to another episode of Paranormal Pals. I'm James.
I'm Lisa.
And what we're going to do today, Lisa?
We are looking at the Craigfoot Inn. Not a really well known one. It's demolished actually now, but it was an investigation I thought we would look at because of the EVP that we got.
Yeah.
Which we'll play for you, and you can let us know what you think at the end. But yeah, that was 2010. We were there, so quite a wee while ago.
Okay, wow.
The thing is that I couldn't actually find a lot of history about it, so I couldn't find out if there'd been any deaths or anything like that.
Right.
And when we were in, the owners didn't have any history to tell us, apart from there's weird stuff happening.
There was always weird stuff happening, yeah. Well, it says it's got a bit of a reputation for being haunted, but yeah, I've got some chilling details to share, I would say.
So we were there the January 2010, and it's in Milton of Campsie. But as I say, it's been demolished now though.
Just outside of Glasgow.
So, as I was saying in this, looking back at the report, there were sightings of spirits, including a small boy in the cellar and two women in the main bar, plus disembodied voices calling out to staff when there are no human customers around.
Yeah.
So, quite a wee bit going on.
Yeah. So we looked around and we I think we had some eerie stuff going on. We captured some EVPs. In fact, I think we captured one of the best EVPs.
Yeah.
In fact, did we show that on episode 1?
No,
that was Extravia, wasn't it?
That was the secret bunker.
I would say that this EVP, or these EVPs, are probably, I'd say they're the best we've ever got.
Yeah.
I would say.
It was... Well, Lorraine, who was our sensitive, was there with us, and she did a walk round, and she confirmed the presence of a small boy, and I think there was a more male, malevolent energy that was there as well. And I think at the time she was saying that he'd harmed a little boy or something like that, and they were both stuck there.
Right. Okay.
But it did have a weird vibe, the cellar. But again, is it because it's a cellar? Like,
it's dark.
It's dark.
Damn.
The pumps are all making sounds and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there hadn't been a lot of documented, like, it's not as though it'd been investigated before, so we were getting in fresh. It was not like somewhere like the secret bunker.
Yeah, it was, as Lisa says, it was totally and utterly not known. Like, people, yeah. And then, did they get in touch with us?
Yeah, they did actually. Surprisingly, yeah. They did get in touch with us, and it was quite funny. I don't know if you remember, but we turned up and we were taking our stuff in, and then I don't know where they came from, but we came into the pub and there was like 10 police officers.
Oh, I do remember that.
And they were like, "What are you staying in here?" And we're like, "Oh, we're doing our own investigation."
Shush, copper, we're into hunt ghosts.
Aye, so the main kind of thing we caught actual evidence on was the dictaphone.
Yeah.
And one of the kind of interesting experiments that was Kim had been contacted by another paranormal team. I think it was in America.
America, aye.
Yeah, and they'd said, well, we'll provide you with these set questions. So you need 2 dictaphones. So you record yourself saying the questions, and a dictaphone next to that, potentially picking up any answers to it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when we got the EVP. That's when we got EVP.
That's right. They told us to ask these particular questions. That's right.
So what we'll do now is we'll play Kim explaining this and showing you the setup of it.
I've left 2 dictaphones out, and on it we have, one of them has got 20 questions on it, and the reason we've done that is because it's a special experiment that we're doing for a paranormal team in Texas who have asked us to ask these 20 questions, and we've not to change any of the wording for them, and hopefully we get answers and replies. I've got another dictaphone that one's going to play them and one of them's going to record them. So hopefully when we play it back afterwards, it takes about 10 minutes. They're all going to be downstairs, so there's nobody going to be up here at all. And then we'll come up afterwards and play it and see if we catch anything.
Yeah, so it was these set questions that had to be played, and well, I don't think that at the time we thought we would really get anything. So it was quite surprising. So one of the questions that we got, the actual EVP, the one that stands out for us was, are you on another plane of existence than ours?
Other than mine.
Other than mine.
Are you on another plane of existence other than mine?
Other than mine.
And then we got a reply.
And do you require transportation, I'm sure?
Oh.
But I wouldn't say, I don't even know what it was. I wouldn't say it was like a voice, it was like a click, something. You guys can decide. But the one where it is like a child.
Yeah. It definitely does sound, yeah.
Yeah, and it's that way, like on, like, we remember we were listening back to it, like actually there.
I've got footage of us listening to it there and then. So I'll play that because you'll hear us in real time. There was a locked off camera and you see us coming back up from another vigil or another investigation somewhere, and we play it and you can hear the question and you hear and you think you see us as well, but it's dark, it's not a great shot, but you see us and you hear our reaction.
Yeah, I think it sounds like mine.
Oh my god! What's the wee boy? Oh. Go back again. Shh.
What was that?
That was banging.
That banging behind
It's
you.
alright.
When you hear that, it sounds as if the source is far away.
It does.
Like, this is my microphone here. Oh, here, sorry. This is my microphone here. And you can tell when I get closer to it. You can tell, and then you can tell when I'm further away. Hello, 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 hello. That EVP sounds as if the microphone was here and the source was like...
Yeah, I
It
agree.
seems as if it was relatively far away, I think.
Well, a thing that was suggested at the time, I'm not sure if it was Billy or you, we said that could be a cat.
It sounded like a meow. It did.
It did, but when we isolated, the sound, the EVP.
Yeah.
Not that we had to enhance it, it was just the volume.
It was more the static, and it's called.
Static.
And you can run a thing called a de-esser, which it takes that static, because that static, when you hear that is it's missing information, and the microphone doesn't know how. Well, it knows how to record it, but it's recorded as static. So you can go into an audio software program, an audio piece of a software for audio, and you can get rid of all that garbage in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
it is definitely.
I mean, could it have been a cat, like, outside the pub at, 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning? Like, potentially, yeah, it could. It's not out of the question, but...
It sounds as if there's a couple of syllables in it. It sounds like rather than meow or whatever you would hear.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'm sure cats make other noises apart from meow. Fucking pop.
But it's just that was our first instinct, but yeah, it's been one of the best ones, I think.
I'd agree.
Some people might not agree because of the static and stuff, but we had to kind of like clean it up a little. Not a huge amount, just to be able to hear what it was saying.
Yeah, but you never. Out of everything that I've ever watched and seen and heard, etc., I've never heard an EVP where it's like, "Hi, hello, you know, my name is James or whatever. You know, I've never heard that. You know, and that's talking about, you know, the Ghost Hunters program, Ghost Adventures, Most Haunted, and you know, all the other big shows that go and hunt ghosts. I've never heard. I know there's a classification of EVP. I get that, but I've never once heard, you know, an EVP where it's so clear.
I always think if you, like, kind of standard wise, if I can't hear what it's saying right away, I'm not.
Aye.
I don't think it's an EVP.
Aye.
But then you might hear it and hear something completely different.
Aye.
Why would that kind of elicit
I don't know if
response?
I don't know if it's the question or the fact that we were just asking questions.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the question. I think it was just the fact that nobody else had really been there before.
No.
I think that was the thing that made that a wee bit special, because we had asked those those same questions in other places. I don't think we ever got a response like we did there at the Craigfoot Inn.
No, I can't remember if we did that experiment anywhere else.
I don't think we did.
No, I don't think we did.
No, sorry.
Did we?
I don't think we got a response like we ever did, but I think we did try those questions. I'm sure we did. Did we? The Burns Tavern, I'm sure we might have done it there.
We might have, because that was running about the same time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, so the other thing that there was noise coming from like the bar area, but I think we noticed that when we were downstairs. And yes, doing glass divination. Divination?
Did
Is that how you say it? Apparently so. Who knew? You have to remember, guys, this was 2010, wasn't it? Yeah, January 2010. So
Wow.
the purpose of us going over these old reports is, you know, it's good to do a comparison to then and now and how you investigate.
Yeah. I think it's one of these things where you're always you always forget. I certainly do. So I think it's always quite good it's always good that we did these reports.
Because I think you can see as well from like your equipment and things like that, you can see how far things have moved on as well.
Yeah.
You know, because at the Craigfoot Inn, it was that EMF data that you held it in.
Oh, aye.
Remember, it was going mental. That was the other thing.
The thing is though, like, there's a pump. Is there like just
I know. But it was just weird because when you guys were asking questions, I remember you and Michelle were asking questions because it seemed to be between me and Michelle. And it's though it was responding through the EMF meter.
Right, okay.
So
I had the best place we ever did the EMF was at Castle House Museum in Dunoon.
yeah,
That was brilliant, man. That was unbelievable.
I'd love to go back there. So yeah, we were obviously doing our thing with the glass, asking the wee boy to move it. There was some movement, but nothing conclusive, apparently.
Yeah.
Drop in temperature. I remember I had my temperature gauge, which looked like a pregnancy test. Do you remember that? It was small. It was compact. It read the air humidity. I thought, well, that's quite good, but yeah, it looked a bit sus.
EMF stopped and passed it.
Yeah.
The team felt the atmosphere change and grow darker. Asked if there was a man present. The EMF spiked once more.
Yeah,
asked if it was a boy. It was the man's son. If the boy was the man's son, the EMF readings continued to spike in response. I went back to measure the EMF readings between the girls and found very little or no reading. The EMF readings spiked once more, indicating that whatever was present was not the height of a small child, and it was possibly an adult.
It's weird. But I do distinctly remember that you were asking him, to stop making the EMF meter go off. So 4:30 a.m. That's when we concluded it. And that was the investigation. And again, I think all of us felt sad for the wee boy.
Oh, aye, man. Sometimes you go on investigations and you think, right, that's probably what that was, or that was that, or whatever, but it was I mean, when you hear the EVP, you can tell that is a wee boy, and he's saying, "Let me out." 100%.
Horrid.
It was so rubbish to leave there, because you were thinking, what's going on there? Is that a wee boy's energy that's just trapped there?
Yeah,
You know,
it's sad.
it is so sad.
And also leaving him with whatever malevolent energy was there. I think at one point Lorraine said she wasn't sure if this male presence had murdered him, but I couldn't. I think Kim looked and I couldn't find anything online. There's very, very, very little. If anybody knows anything about the Craigfoot Inn, I'd be quite interested about that.
Craigfoot Inn, Milton of Campsie, Glasgow.
Any history. But yeah, it ended at 4:30 a.m. and I remember coming home from that investigation really freaked out, and my cat started running about the house crazy. She wouldn't come in my room, and do you know that kind of way? It was like probably about 5:30 in the morning or something like that, and I'm like trying to get to sleep, and I think I'm half sleeping and but awake, and at the bottom of my bed I think I see, am I dreaming, am I not, like a little boy kind of looking through like my the end of my bed like that, and I was like, but what was really freaky is that he didn't have eyes. It was like a sort of white light.
That's
and
horrible.
I jumped out of bed. I was like, what the heck is going on? And I had to get Lorraine to clear me, because I was positive that I brought something home with me, because my cat has never done that, never. She was chasing something about. Yeah, that was weird.
That's mental.
But yeah, that's probably one of the investigations where one of the first times I had an attachment, I would say. But it's very weird, because when say for example, like recently within the GPI, I have had stuff going on at home, but so have Kim, Nikki, Alison.
I'm not surprised. I'm just not.
I feel it's because we're all linked.
I think as well, you're asking for it to a certain extent as well. And that's one of the things that kind of creeps me out. Like, I'm happy to have my fun and then leave.
Yes.
But it doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't work like that, and that's how I felt it was with the wee boy, because I feel like all of us were just so sad about it. We were just like, how awful is that? Like,
it felt like real, like that was a wee boy.
Yeah, there wasn't a whisper. There's no mistaking it was a voice, but there was nobody up there when we were recording. We were all downstairs.
And it's in Milton of Campsie. It's in the middle of nowhere.
I know.
And the only pub in the village is the pub that we were in. So, and it was, excuse me, sorry, it was late at night. Like, it was proper late at night. And you can see if anybody's going past and anything like that.
And there wasn't even traffic going by, really. There wasn't. There was nothing.
Because it's a wee teeny village.
It is, and it was just... We just didn't expect. I think that's what shocked us.
No.
But again, it gave kind of credibility to what Lorraine had said about the small boy being there, and eyewitness statements, or whatever what you want to call them. People said, we see a little boy down there in the cellar by the cupboard, and that just happened to be where the other dictaphone was. That was the shriek. So it's weird.
It was a good investigation. It was good fun. Right, Lisa, what is going on in the paranormal world? Is there any interesting news?
Okay, so I'm going to read a story out from one of my followers on TikTok, Michelle O'Connell. Thank you for your story. She wanted me to, hear this story, and she'd taken a couple of photographs which she thought were quite weird, and she wanted us to kind of look at the pictures to see if anything stands out in it.
Okay.
So, I'll read what she said. So, I hope you don't think I've lost the plot here, but I felt you needed to know, and hopefully you can run a story on it, because I make videos. I am an urban photographer and dereliction. My absolute passion. That's obviously to do with going to abandoned places and things. Okay.
Right, okay.
So especially hospitals and asylums, because the amount of emotions and deaths attached to them. I've picked up voices on live videos, but myself and my nephew went to, and this is a place I've not heard of.
Her nephew?
Balrossie Orphanage. That's a place I'm familiar
Never
with.
heard of that.
And we encountered the strangest things possible. We had cameras malfunctioning and phones draining of battery, but they came back on when we got outside. And our nephew's phone came to life with 3% battery, and he took a shot of the corridor, and they think that a figure is there. So when you see this figure, she said it's hard to forget. Michelle feels that she's sensitive herself, and she felt like it was a little girl. So when she returned home, she was uploading the photos to Facebook. Two friends who are psychics messaged to say there's a little girl who was following them about that night, obviously when they were there. And she was curious to what they were doing. She wouldn't go upstairs, and the friend advised her to go back to speak to the wee girl. I wouldn't have personally.
No.
Spirit children just scare the shit out of me.
Different level.
So she said, my feeling was a little girl named Jennifer wearing a lemon-frilled dress with auburn hair and ringlets. Needless to say, we returned and went upstairs to what looked like a gymnasium, and it was water and fire damage. So my nephew and I were shoulder to shoulder discussing how we could cross this floor when an almighty growl came from between us. My nephew turned with such fear, and I had to grab his scruff because he was ready for doing a Scooby-Doo out of there. We've done that.
What age is this nephew?
I don't know.
I've just got this image of an 8-year-old boy. Go with your Auntie Janice to the haunted, the abandoned hospital. What was the girl's name?
Michelle.
Michelle, who sent you in. Thanks for this, Michelle.
So, she said, I spoke to Jennifer and told her to take my hand as I would take her to a different part away from the bad man. And my hand went ice cold. And my nephew captured an orb in the photo as we looked back straight away. On leaving the building and getting back to the car, my nephew started reviewing what he'd captured, only to discover his memory card had been formatted and his battery drained. For that particular place, there's been allegations of abuse and things like that, which make it a very dark place, and unfortunately it's become vandalised beyond recognition. So she sent me 2 pictures, which we'll put up, and when I first looked at it, I wasn't very sure what.
Right, well, don't tell me anything. I know you've already said about a figure, that's fine.
Yep.
So you just let me look at it, right? And I'll look at this at the same time as we put it on the screen as well.
Okay.
So you, right, I want to look at it. Right. Can you zoom in?
I think so, yeah.
I can't see anything. What I would do is I would put this into Photoshop and increase the exposure, and I would decrease the shadows as well.
Yeah.
That's what I would probably do. So go on, you show me what you...
Okay. So, Michelle sent me 2 photos, I think. Okay, so this
Right, okay.
is that photo there.
I did look at that and think, could that be something? It does look small. That thing at the top, could it be a face?
Like kind of
Aye.
maybe creeping round like that.
Like the old image from the Amityville house.
yeah.
Remember that?
It's weird. Yeah, so like that's a little face there, and that's the body, but that would be very, very, very tiny small though. Because if that's the floor,
Yeah. I don't.
it's difficult to say, because if we'd have taken that photo on an investigation, and say we were at the investigation and we reviewed it, we would be like, right, it's in pretty poor condition, the place. Let's go
Yeah.
back and look to see
What that is.
what's in that room.
But just if people are just starting to watch these episodes, my background is video and photography. So what the one thing that I do see is that the angle this photograph has been taken, you can see the sill on the door, or sorry, you can see the frame of the door, right? That is clearly white. And there's something just to the right of it. Now, where would that object be? Would it be on the floor,
See now, that
further in that room?
is that maybe going downstairs? Is that, look at the way that's placed? Could that be a banister? How high would that be? No, that's... It's difficult to say without being there.
When you look at that image and you zoom out, I think that you could possibly pick out 3 or 4 different things that would look like some kind of figure
Yeah.
or a face. I think this could be a classic case of pareidolia. Could it be something? Yeah, it could be. But to say definitively, no, because
I think you would really need to kind of mess about with that a bit, you know.
is a flash being used also? It does look like there's a... I would say, because you can see it on the wall at the right hand side,
Yeah.
that there is, you can see that there is light. So-
There is something there, but is it, because it's in such, I mean, look at the wall there, it's in such bad state. Is
Yeah.
that wall the same?
Yeah.
You know?
I get it,
It's-
because it looks like something is peeking out
Yeah.
from the door frame. I did look at that and I dismissed it straight away because I was drawn towards more like the further down the corridor, as you always are.
But it's a good, interesting picture.
So it's a great picture. Where is this then?
It is, where are we? Is it Balrossi Orphanage?
Balrossi Orphanage. Is
Uh-huh.
it still kicking around? Is it?
I don't know. I'll need to look. But it's just because there's like all the paint and
There's a lot
wallpaper.
of-
There's a lot of stuff there.
There's a lot of stuff going on in there.
But something I always think about as well is that, well, fair enough, you're taking this picture, but the experienced activity as well, like a massive bang. But in saying that,
But a massive bang. It's an old abandoned.
it's in poor condition.
Now, I'm not trying to say that Michelle's at it here. Obviously, she's not, because she's taking the time to send us this stuff. But I'm trying to. I don't want people watching this and saying, "Well, it could be this." Or I'm talking for them as well, and I'm sure Michelle actually already knows this stuff.
Yeah.
But it is interesting.
It is. And I don't know, Michelle, if you've been back out to take pictures, whether it's still standing or not, I don't know,
Yeah.
but it would be
I
be a
think
good
it's-
idea, but-
I think it's pretty cool.
It is.
I do like it. It
it's-
does remind me of the Amityville
Yeah.
picture.
Put that picture on.
I'll put the Amityville picture up. There we go. You'll be able to
Yeah.
see it now. It's brilliant, isn't it?
But yeah, I can totally see why I when I looked at the photo, I was like, I see something there. Am I supposed to be looking at? But I was looking down here, you know, right down the corridor, and it was
Everything in that image is dark.
apart from that and that wee bit sticking out from the
And that
doorway.
is, yeah.
I would just want to know if that was stairs, how that wood is there.
That does look weird.
Because if that was the case, if that, say, was the floor, it'd be quite short. But if it's standing on stairs, it could be a wee bit more one of the lower stairs.
It's weird, that. I do like it though. It's a good photo.
It is a good photo, but I always think, fair enough, you've got a really interesting photo, but when you've got activity as well,
Aye.
It's strange. But yeah, that's a good photo. But
yeah,
I want all your photos and stories, so please send them in.
Thanks for that, Michelle. You guys can hit us up on hello@paranormalpals.co.uk. Send us all your weird and wonderful stories. If you've got any pictures or anywhere you think that we should investigate, or that you want us to talk about, put your name in it. We'll give you a wee shout out and stuff like that. We're just hoping that this is just one big community, and we can just start talking about all these awesome places, because that's a perfect example of us. I mean, we've been in the game for a long time now. We've never heard of that place.
No, it's a new one, completely new one. But I'm guessing maybe it's long gone now, because that 2016, I think, Michelle was there. But yeah, more pictures like that would be good to kind of talk about. But it's something that, it comes up a lot when you're in a paranormal team. People will email you pictures, especially with orbs. And, for example, there was someone that sent us a picture with, like, they were sitting in their bed with the lights off, filming, and there was loads of orbs, but she was in bed under her covers, and I'm like, if you move about, it's going to be dust, and
absolutely,
it's different. So when you have to say that to someone, like, I understand where you're coming from, but I don't think it is paranormal. But it's difficult to strike a balance. But
do you remember the picture that my sister took?
Yeah. That's doing the rounds on Facebook.
That always seems to crop up, and it's all. I'm pretty sure if you guys are all interested in the paranormal and you follow lots of paranormal accounts, etc., I think there's a good chance that you have probably seen this picture, and I know for a fact that it's my sister's picture, because
it's bizarre.
You can't replicate it, and she's got another 10 of those pictures.
She was sitting in bed, wasn't she?
Aye, and she gets them often. She gets it. Sometimes they happen again, and she had a video.
Did she?
She had a video. I don't know if she still got it. We should probably do an episode on that. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And this is my sister, who she wouldn't lie to me about that.
No.
She wouldn't lie to me about it. She's, as I says, she's one of these people that stuff just seems to draw to her.
Yeah, totally.
And she can't watch horrors because things start happening. The only way that I can think that things start happening is that she'll watch something like that, and then it'll engage a part of her brain that starts thinking, and then from there you don't know. We don't know what happens, but it's almost like she manifests it. That's almost what it's like.
I think, I think you've got a point with that, because I think whether it's because, well, A, if someone is naturally more open to believing things, and B, if you are watching something like that, is it an energetic thing? You putting something out there, like she's manifesting something? So is that why it happens? Yeah. I don't know, it's difficult. It's just like, there's a few people that they've emailed us over the years who had similar things happening with their teenagers and stuff. Yeah. One in particular where we had to say they have to stop watching horror movies because it was the whole lot was going on.
It's a big one, man. I mean, I know you do get a wee bit creeped out after you watch a horror movie or whatever, and you're locking the doors at night or whatever. But some, especially teenagers,
the classic, supposed to encourage poltergeist activity.
That's for people that don't know, that's the theory that poltergeist activity tends to happen in homes with teenage children, because they're going through changes, and there's energy that's starting to shift, and they're becoming older, and brain chemistry, and there's lots of theories, but it seems to be when there's teenagers. I think they looked at data on it, and they looked at poltergeist occurrences, and then they looked at how many of those homes that had poltergeist occurrences or potential activity relating to poltergeists, how many of those homes had teenage boys and girls in them, and I think it was a high percentage. I can't remember the percent. We could try and find it, but it's always something that we always say to people when they ask us, like,
what they're into, what they're watching.
What they're into, that. See, somebody says to me as well about Ouija boards. I'm like,
no.
Nah.
But thinking about it, if you were a spirit and you're stuck in a house or you're wandering aimlessly somewhere, and you see that person who's had experiences before, who saw things before, who watches things like that, like, does that look like a beacon to a spirit or something? Like, where they're just like, oh, I can speak to you, you can see me, like.
And they're developing as an adult.
Yeah.
So they've maybe not made their mind up about energy and the spiritual realm, etc., etc. Because again, as much as we think we know about this topic, we don't. We know nothing. We know nothing.
Not just with teenagers, but why are only some people psychic or mediums? Are they more open? I mean, obviously people develop it, but
I've got a bit of a theory on that as well.
What?
And it's a bit. I don't know. I have just noticed with male mediums, they seem to be quite feminine. And I don't know if they're just tapping into a more sensitive part of the brain or something. Like, you don't get Big John the Joiner, who's a medium, often.
Actually, there's the psychic plumber on TikTok.
Oh, right.
I'm sure he's the psychic plumber, I think. I remember watching things, I'm like, why are all the male mediums got they seem to be quite feminine, like they've got a feminine energy about them, and people always talk about how females are more empathetic and you can just pick up on things and stuff like that. I'm thinking maybe there's something. But I think, they put you at ease, I think, and could it be said that they're doing that to kind of, what is it they call it, like give you a code reason, is it? So like a psychic, when they make you feel when they sit down and they're all very the charismatic and things like that, and you're kind of taken with that, but they could, is that kind of so you lower your barriers a little bit, and then they can ask you questions and is it a cold reading they call it? I can't remember. It was something that Derren Brown did.
Oh, he did that, aye. It was cold reading, is just going up to somebody in the street and just looking at them, and I think it's basically just guessing what by like, are they wearing nice shoes? Are the shoes polished right? Probably, good job, works in an office, suit, so I think that's kind of like a cold reading. Yeah,
but I don't know. It's just, there's been a lot of stuff on TikTok on mediums, certain Scottish mediums declaring themselves the UK's best loved psychic, which is rather bizarre.
We've worked with lots of psychics, and I can't say that any of them have ever. I'm not after them to tell me that it's wee Agnes and she passed away in 1840 from cancer or whatever, or I don't know.
But you want it to be more than oh, hang on, you've got a male energy with you, or is it grandfather? Has your father passed over? It's no, it was your father. I'm getting your father.
And I'm 70. I'm 70-year-old.
Did he have heart problems? Did he have heart? Well, yeah, he did have heart problems because he fucking died. His heart stopped.
Aye.
It's general stuff like that. Like, I don't want that. I want names, dates, places, middle names.
Either or please don't hate me out there. That's why I loved Most Haunted.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning, Derek Acora came out and went, name and a date.
Yeah. He really did make that show.
Aye.
At
No,
first.
I think that's why they. I don't know what happened there, but I thought it was amazing. But that's what he did. He had that, and then like they checked it, and they were like, "Aye, that's right." So either he knew where he was going, and did research on it. So realistically,
Apparently not though, but we'll never know. But
I mean, he did that week in, week out.
he did.
So I mean,
But, you know-
what I'm basically saying is, no psychic, because I've never met all these psychics. I've never met one, and they've went like something quite significant happened to me and you when we were both young, separately, and nobody's ever come up to me and said that's or whatever. That's never happened.
No.
And that would be major. If I'm psychic and I was looking at somebody, and if I was psychic and I was looking at you, I'd be like, right, well, this.
Yeah.
I'm not after, oh, there's a male energy, or there's a female energy, or I'm getting this. I'm after, I would expect, if something that, right, so basically, my dad died when I was 15, 16 years old. Excuse me. And all the mediums I've ever met, not one of them come up to me and went, listen, I've got somebody here called Kenny. I'd be like, right, wait a minute.
Yeah, that would be bizarre.
Because I've never even put anything on Facebook or nothing of that. So if mediums are, completely and utterly legit, and they looked at me, and I'm open to the fact that there might be something. So why is nobody ever went, right, James?
If that so see, like, if your dad was standing right beside you and I'm the psychic, why can I not say, oh, he's saying this to you and that to you? Why can't you give specifics?
Or there's a guy here who looks like this, or he's if somebody walked up to me and went, Kenny said hello, I'd be like, right, that's very strange.
But
That's strange.
The thing is, I think this is true for both of us. Apart from the last investigation, like my dad passed when I was 17, and not once in 16 years up until last summer did he actually ever come through and speak to me. Other family members have on the spirit box, and certain information came about, and I was like, okay, fair enough. It's not mega specific, but it wasn't until I was at 30 East Drive and I was going through a really bad time, and it was as though he came through, and it was very, very strong. But I don't remember your dad ever coming through on any of the investigations.
Never.
So it's difficult. It's like I want to, when someone is like, I've got a message for you. Well,
go and say it, because I want you to say it.
Because I think this is my advice. If, say for example, if my dad's around me, right, and he can hear me speaking, I've got a kind of a safe word. So I've said, if you come through a psychic medium, you will say this word to her.
All right, okay.
So I know for definite it is you.
Yeah.
I think that's quite a good way to go.
Aye.
I mean, it's just so vague and things I mean, I could probably talk a lot about some stuff I've been told from psychics, which will be a different podcast, but it's just, you want to believe, but
you do.
But I want the specifics.
You do. I know.
It's just difficult, but yeah, we could do another podcast on that, psychics or whatever.
I think we should, aye. Again, if you guys have got any stories on that kind of stuff, or of a psychic who's incredibly talented or got a very good reputation, etc., let us know who it is, and or if you're out there and you're watching, get in touch. We're not ruling any of this stuff out. No. We're just chatting about it.
Chatting about it, and at the end of the day, when you are an investigator, you need proof. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day.
Because that's what others want as well. There'll be people out there watching, they'll just take fucking anything.
Yeah.
There was a brilliant Peter Kay sketch or something. They were at a funeral, and it was filmed like it was what do you call it, like the Blair Witch Project, like it's like a first person take, and it's the wife, and the wife's crying, and she's like, did you see that there? I'm like, no, what is it, like that packet of quavers that blew over the path? Like, John loved quavers. And like, what do you say to that person? What do you say to that person? You can't turn around and go, Janice, come on, get a grip of yourself, man. It's a packet of quavers, do you know what I mean? But you're like, you don't want to piss on somebody's chips, do you?
Yeah.
So, and who are we to say that? You know what I mean?
Well, exactly. That's the thing.
Maybe John did like quavers.
I heard it was Frazzles.
Frazzles. I had a packet of them last night.
Oh,
brilliant.
Nice. But yeah, we could probably do a podcast on that. It would actually be quite good to look at what Derren Brown did, because I haven't seen that episode.
Oh, it was good. I thought he was a wee bit. I'm a massive fan of Derren Brown. I've seen him about 3 or 4 times, but I felt as if he almost had an agenda before he went into it.
Yeah.
And I was like, please don't. I'm like, just please go in. Please go in.
Balanced.
Aye, it needs to be. It needs to be.
be.
But he ended up speaking to this medium. I don't know where it was, but you don't know who that guy was or whatever, you know. And then production companies get involved, and it's a lot of hearsay.
Well, on TikTok now there's a psychic medium called Chris Riley. If you guys are on TikTok, you'll know him. He's all over the place. Because he was on a Channel 4 show where they were making, you know, I haven't saw the documentary, but it was obviously this journalist going and getting a reading from him. And basically he was kind of making out as though that he failed to do it. He wasn't giving him any specific information and stuff.
Right. And
it made Chris look really bad.
All right.
But from what he said, he went, this has been edited a certain way when it's making me look like a laughing stock, and he wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
But he's on TikTok doing readings and lives all over the place. But I can't really say I've never had one, but a lot of places.
What's his name?
Chris Riley.
Chris Riley, get in touch. We'd love to speak to you.
Oh, he's got a massive account.
Oh, well.
Massive account.
Oh, well.
But yeah, it's a shame. But again, editing, the same with Most Haunted and stuff like that, it all goes down that way. But yeah, that could be a different podcast. But I kind of just feel like these first couple of podcasts are just us finding our feet.
Aye.
And, you know.
Aye, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. We hope you enjoy it. We hope you like it, and please just get in touch, you know, and email us hello@paranormalpals.co.uk. Send us your pictures, your videos, whatever you've got, if you want us to look at anything, and
we'll have a look at them.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye.